And you talk about last night, Josh Hart, triple-double, fourth triple-double this season for the Knicks, one of 6 players in franchise history to get to 4 in a season. And, if you watch this team night in and night out, his impact. I think fans were a little disappointed with the contract early on because he wasn't shooting the ball particularly well. But when you look at that extension, Bobby, and you see what Hart has done so far with this deal, how do you feel about the value of that extension now and moving forward?
Yeah, listen, I think when people looked at the extension, certainly 4 for 81, about $16-17 million per, and it's increasing here. You looked at him more of a, certainly as a sixth man, right? That sixth man type money here. But now when you see him more of an expanded role, and he'll probably go back, back to the bench with OG back, but it's still a guy that's going to play probably 25 minutes a night. And it's, I always use the phrase, it's like, you guys are big baseball fans. It's like, those middle innings reliever type guys that can come in the 6th and 7th inning, like those guys got value. Guys that can come out there, the specialty glue guys that can make a shot, dive on the ground for a rebound, set screens here. That has a lot of value here. So it's a good contract. I mean, it's, now we'll see what happens when New York gets into the offseason, and they're going to have to prioritize, right? Like that's the reality here. When we take the business part of it and integrate it to the basketball part here, is that they're going to have to prioritize who on their roster is a priority and who's on the roster is a luxury here.
Well, on this show, we're certainly rooting for the Mets middle relief to be as effective as Josh Hart has been for this club. CP, down the stretch, postseason, we don't know who the Knicks are going to match up with. We don't know where they're going to end up seeding-wise. But when you look at Josh Hart, do you see him as one of the more important players for the Knicks in the postseason, what they will or will not do?
He's going to be critical. And I'm not sure if there's any other stat that's indicative of what a player means to a team than the triple-double. I mean, Josh Hart, his 4th triple-double in one season for the Knicks. He racked it up in the third quarter as I was watching that game in MSG. Just impressive what he's done for this team, starting with sacrifice. Sacrificing to allow Dante DiVincenzo to get his money at the mid-level exception. Sacrificing in terms of playing undersized and oftentimes defending players that are much bigger than him. The best defensive rebounding or the best rebounding guard in the NBA. I mean, Josh Hart does everything. A key play in last night's game is in going into the half. He fakes a dribble handoff to Jalen Brunson, steps into a three-pointer. On the next possession, he gets a loose ball deflection, runs the break, runs in transition, and then finds Jalen Brunson for a three-pointer in the corner. So Josh Hart's been vital to this team, Ian, but I think where he's ultimately going to be judged in the postseason is going to be his ability to score. As the Knicks are not sure what they're going to have in Julius Randle and his ability to get back to all-star form, teams are going to take the gamble to allow Josh Hart to shoot in the half court, and that's where he's got to be confident and step into those shots in the mid-range as well. The Knicks are going to need his scoring because you know what you're going to get from a rebounding and assist standpoint. He's going to play make, he's going to play relatively smart, but his ability to knock down shots is going to be pivotal for this Knicks team's success in the playoffs.
I thought it was interesting last night. He was left open a few times, and he would pump fake and then put the ball on the deck and look to give it up. And I think that was effective last night, but you also have to mix in the shot attempts. I'm sure they'll find the right blend there.